Welcome back. You are watching Breaking Point on Real America's Voice News. Somebody told me I look like I'm in Miami Vice today. I said I'm Brooklyn meets Miami. Welcome to the show. We had a great show today. Footage from the White House, my coverage last week. I'll be back on the ground in the White House in about 2 weeks. So much going on down there. Every day is electric. We're in a special time in our history, and I shared some of that special time on the ground in South Carolina for the primary last year and for the previous election in 2020, and the presidential election, of course, in 2024. Trump took South Carolina, but they got a great governor, and they've got an even better Lieutenant Governor, Pam Evett, the Lieutenant Governor of the great state of South Carolina, and running for governor next year. How are you, Pam?
I'm great, David. It's great to see you again.
It's always great to see you. I love South Carolina and, spent a lot of time down there. My family had a house in the 80s in Hilton Head in Sea Pines Plantation.
Well, that's
Beautiful, but we lost it in the recession.
well, that's not a good thing.
No, but there is no recession now, and South Carolina has been doing really well. Places like Greenville, high-tech areas, manufacturing. Tell us about it.
Yes, South Carolina is booming. It's growing. U-Haul has ranked us the #1 state for U-Haul drop-offs. And so that says a lot about what the governor and I have accomplished over the last 7 years, really focusing on growing business here in South Carolina, making sure we stay a very conservative red state, standing behind our law enforcement. Really backing the blue is what we have done to keep South Carolinians safe. And let's face it, David, when people are looking to where they can move anywhere in the country, they want to be safe. And so we've continued to do that, making sure we gave the largest pay increases to law enforcement in our state's history. Also cutting taxes. The president has led the way with DOGE and making sure that we keep more money in people's pockets. And during our administration, the governor and I have given South Carolinians the biggest tax cuts in our state's history. And that has been an amazing thing for everybody moving here. Not to mention, we love our veterans. And so passed into law the fact that there is 0 state income tax on veterans' pensions here in South Carolina. So we have so many things to be proud for and excited about that people can't seem to stay away from South Carolina, which is a good problem to have.
Yeah, and I got to say, I spent almost as much time looking for good shrimp and grits down there because I love that and all the different areas, as I did covering the campaigns. And I really had a wonderful time on the campaign trail. Rock Hill, South Carolina, the Trump rally, just off the hook. Primary day, people came out for Donald Trump. You were there on the fairgrounds that day. You were at Trump's side throughout the race. But now you have a governor's race and somewhat of a crowded primary field. Let's see, do you have Nancy Mason there? You have Alan Wilson. Anyone else? Ralph Norman? What's the status?
So, I think it's a great race. Everybody that you just mentioned, they're career politicians. David, I'm a business person. I'm a conservative business person. I'm a mother of 3. I'm a woman of faith, and that sets me apart from the pack. Also, I'm the only person, as you mentioned, President Trump in South Carolina being such a pro-President Trump state. I'm the only candidate that has stood beside the president from day one. When it wasn't even, I wasn't even in politics. So this was something that I did when I was a business owner, because I knew we needed President Trump in the White House. And in January of 23, when the president came to announce his candidacy right here in Columbia, look at all the people that have thrown their hat in the race. I'm the only one that was standing next to him that day. And so, I think I distinguish myself from the pack a lot. And the next, from now until June of 26, I'm going to work hard to let the people of South Carolina know why it's so important to have a businesswoman and why it is so important to have somebody who has stood beside the president.
Yes, and at least one congressman in the primary race did not stand by the president the whole time, right? Okay, you have a new tour, Keep South Carolina Great Again. What is that?
So basically getting out, since I've been Lieutenant Governor, David, I've traveled the state to hear what the people of South Carolina think are important. And so what this does, it just continues that tour. I want people to come out. I want them to tell me what we're doing good. I want them to tell me what we need to do better on. And those are the things I want people to get to know me. I think it means a lot when people can shake your hand. And some of the best political advice I've gotten over the years is when you see somebody, shake their hand, hear their thoughts, and ask them for their vote. And so that's exactly what this tour is going to do. And I'm excited to continue my movement around the state and connecting with South Carolinians.
When I talk to people, I'm from New York. Don't hold it against me. New York and New Jersey, Connecticut, New Hampshire, other places, they're coming to South Carolina. I have a daughter who's a senior, drove back yesterday to Columbia, and all the kids she goes to school with are from up here. And all thinking about relocating. You got lower taxes. My brother-in-law lives outside of Greenville. I think he only pays like $3,000 a year in taxes on a 4-bedroom colonial. That house would be $17,000 on Long Island.
Well, that's exactly right. And just imagine how excited we are to join the ranks of Florida, Texas, and Tennessee. When I'm governor, I'll continue that fight. The governor and I together have had the largest tax cut in our state's history, but we're not going to stop here. When I'm governor, we're going to make sure South Carolina has 0 state income tax. If other states can do it, we can. And we're going to do that by running efficiently, by taking President Trump's idea of DOGE, bringing it right here to South Carolina, and making sure that we're doing everything we can to be efficient and put every dime we can back into the pockets of hardworking South Carolinians.
Right. So crime is on everybody's mind. New York, unbelievable what's going on. A 17-year-old shot 3 people in Times Square. A 15-year-old stabbed a 14-year-old on a playground the other day. D.C. is 6 times the murder rate. Albuquerque, out of control. Democrats asking for help from the president with National Guard requests. St. Louis, number 1, New Orleans, Memphis. What's the situation with crime in South Carolina? Not as bad as some of those other states, right?
First and foremost, thank you to President Trump for taking over Washington, D.C. I spend time going back and forth to Washington. My husband and I, when the president announced his candidacy at the White House for the 2020 election, we were surrounded by a mob leaving the White House. So thank you to President Trump, first and foremost, for cleaning up our capital city and making it friendly again, for not just sending our children and us going to visit, but for people from all over the world that want to see the beauty of Washington, D.C. Here in South Carolina, the governor and I, like I said, have always taken law enforcement as a friend and done everything we could to help them. I have always said, if you're a law enforcement officer anywhere in the country and you're not happy, we want you right here in South Carolina. We made sure we banned sanctuary cities. We do not have any sanctuary cities here in South Carolina. We were very early to the game to pull that trigger. And we are working hand in glove with ICE and our federal partners to make sure that dangerous illegals have no spot here in South Carolina. I have been very vocal about my passion and helping Secretary Noem by putting in a palmetto pen. If we can do something to help get dangerous illegals out of our country, we're going to do it here in South Carolina, and we're going to work hand in glove with the Trump administration because, they really, this is something the president ran on, David. And the American people gave him a mandate to close our borders and get rid of dangerous illegals. And that's what he's doing. And as Republican governors in red states, we need to stand by him and do all we can.
Yes, I know that South Carolina law enforcement and McMaster and your administration were early to the game, and the media was all over you guys, cooperating with ICE and everything. That's interesting. And by the way, I have Michael Letts on the show often from SLED, right, and the chaplain to South Carolina Police, and so we lean on him for some crime stats nationwide and stuff. Tell us about 1 or 2 other issues quickly going on in South Carolina. And also, USC has a great football team this year again, the Gamecocks.
Yeah, well, we are all gearing up. If you're from the South, Friday or Saturday afternoons in South Carolina is all about football. So we're excited about that. really excited about the growth we have here. Century Aluminum, thank you once again to President Trump for putting American businesses and American workers first once again on the global scene, and Century Aluminum announcing a really big investment here in South Carolina. Thank you again to the president. That is doing a lot to continue to build South Carolina's economy. And we have had amazing record growth here year after year. The big thing now is to continue to give parents the power that they so need. We were one of the first states to make a law that biological men could not play in women's sports. We're going to continue our work to make sure that parents have all the control over their children, that we're keeping bureaucrats out of their homes. And as a mom of 3 myself, I just sent my baby off to college. It's been a hard week, David. You know how hard that is when you send the last one out. But it's made me even more passionate and emboldened about making sure that we keep our kids safe and that we keep dangerous predators away from them. And so, here in South Carolina, we've passed a lot of great laws in the last year, and we'll continue to do that. We're going to make sure that if you come to our state, you're never going to have to worry about a biological male being in your daughter's body.
Well, that's really great. Pam, we have about 15 seconds. Tell our viewers where they can follow you and get involved.
David, thank you. We have had great movement in this campaign so far. Go to PamelaEvitt.com, volunteer, donate. It is going to be an amazing race. I'm going to be excited to be the next governor of South Carolina.
All right. It's going to be a busy season next year, primary in June, election in November. I wish you the best of luck, and we'll have you back on.
Thanks so much, David. I look forward to it.
All right. Thank you, Lieutenant Governor. Everybody, thank you for watching today. We'll see you next time.